Good morning and welcome to Bricolage with Pink Girly. Happy Thursday. Hi, Jacqueline. Good morning. Okay, I didn't get everything done this morning that I had hoped. Shocker. I had my alarm. Boy, I slept a lot last night. I was dozing in my chair for most of the evening. No, I really want to talk to her in person. So I didn't message her last night. It's easier for me to just talk to her. So if she comes in this morning, I'll say something to her and I'll go from there. But thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon or good after good stupid o'clock, lady. Oh, hi, Pearl. Good morning. Candy, good morning. She's got 2 appointments. Okay, sweetie. Hi, Sherry. Diane, what time is it for you? Is it early? It's probably early. Goodness. Well, I was going to do a little practicing, but I didn't get done. Boop, boop, boop. Didn't get done. Struggling with my fabric. 1 a.m. Oh, my dear, what are you doing awake? Sheesh. All right, so got some ribbons here. There's a few of us here. Before I destroy, well, not destroy, but, well, let me do this. Let me show you this. This is kind of what started me thinking. I started tidying digitals. Oh my goodness. Where can we see your digitals? Do you have them online? Do you sell them? Oh, do tell. This kind of started today's stream. I have this piece. I have no idea where I got it. Maybe I got it from Pearl. Kofi. Oh, geez. I don't know what that is. I'll have to have a look. So this fabric is like, I guess, silk. I'm not great on fabrics, but I think this is silk. Oh, you found something? Oh, great. Thanks, Jacqueline. And I was wanting to use this on a journal I'm working on, but like particularly this area here. But I didn't think it would cut out so well and work. And this is slippery. And I ended up not, of course, using it. But I think it's really cool. Let's see. That's where she sells. Oh, thanks, Jacqueline. Oh, Jacqueline's a genius. Isn't it pretty? So I had this in the back of my mind. All right. So then I bought, when we were together, if you were with me on Tuesday evening, I was talking about digitals and I bought all these different digitals and I showed you. I showed you how pretty some of the ones are that I purchased. You know, we went through all that. You could go back and look at my here's Pearl's giving me a tip. When you want to use it, get a light stabilizer that you can iron on and give it more weight and take Pearl, thank you. I do have a light stabilizer. Shocker. So I was printing off my digitals and using them, and then I want to do a cover. I'm making one that's kind of going to be daisy themed. And I was talking about digital. Some you can use commercially, some you can only use personally. So the daisy digitals that I purchased, I can only use I can only use personally. And I bought them like at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I like to sell my journals. So going forward, I want to purchase ones that I can use in my work. Um, but the daisies, I'm going to make a journal that I want to gift to someone. So I was thinking, I'd really like to put it on the cover. Thinking about a cloth cover that may change, but right now I'm thinking about a cloth cover and how I might be able to use those daisy digital images. And I didn't want to put paper on my fabric cover, So then I thought, oh, I have printed on fabric. I did it once. Oh, shoot. You know what I didn't pull? Oh, here it is. I did it once. I couldn't remember how I did it. And then I started to root around. And so I found this Quilter's freezer paper sheets. Now, of course, they're 8.5 by 11. So then it started to come back to me. So what I did was trying to read chat. It was a bunny. I don't know what it was, a bunny. Oh, chai tea. I like that smell. So what I did yesterday was ironed my fabric that I wanted to use, which it was just an old pillowcase that I tore apart. Okay. Now I'm thinking if you have freezer paper in your kitchen, you could unwind it and cut out the 8.5 by 11 and just give it a chance to flatten out. Or when you iron your fabric on it, it should straighten out. And you might be able to get that in your printer. I have an older printer. I probably should check the settings a little better. So you can see here, I printed them out on fabric. You can see it struggled a little bit because I've got some dark ink that's picked up here, but see, that's all going to get cut away. So I'm not too concerned about that. So I ironed it on. So what I'm going to do now is take it off. Just going to pull it off. Whoop. Now, I could just very easily glue this down onto my fabric cover that I'm thinking about. Let's see, where did oh, it's way over there. Okay. I mean, it looks a little dingy, but, a little bit of grunge is okay with me, like vintagey looking old. But I thought it would be pretty if I did some maybe ribbon embroidery on this digital that I printed on fabric. So that's what I'm hoping to do, but I want to practice first. So I started this morning trying to practice a little bit here, but I'm really having a hard time pulling, and I got my thinner ribbon out, satin ribbons, and I'm still having a hard time pulling it through. Now, I did link a video. It's pretty. Hey, Kimberly, good morning. The video was like 4 or 5 years ago, but I linked it in my description box. It's a really good video. She gives you a lot of different stitches that she's using. She gives you a lot of different ideas. And I was mesmerized last night. So I linked that for you if you're interested at all. I mean, I've heard of ribbon embroidery using ribbons, but I never really looked at it or thought about it until I came across this piece in my stash. Anyway, so of course, a fabric with a more open weave, it's a little easier. Now, she does tell you in the video that you can pre-poke a hole and pull your ribbon through. Hey, Ange, good morning. She doesn't show you that, but I tried it here. Of course, I didn't get this close enough over to that guy. But I was still having a hard time pulling this through. So I just quickly went and pulled out a piece of this fabric that I have. in my stash, and I think it might be a little easier. So I'm going to fiddle around with it, practice a little bit, and then hopefully do a little bit on my printed digital. See how that looks. This may not be the best digital to try it on, but this is the project I'm most wanting to work on. So I pulled out colors of my satin ribbons. Now these wider ones might be a little more difficult to use. She talks about different widths, but I'm not really understanding. Well, I don't do numbers, you know. So the one thing she does mention is that if you can use I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. It's a special kind of needle. Oh my goodness, Diane, really? Diane said the girl down the road from her had a long flowing train on her wedding dress. It was ribbon embroidered and beaded by her grandmother, long vines and roses. It was stunning. Oh, I bet. Wow, that sounds gorgeous. Really, Kimberly, what a treasure for sure. Oh my goodness. A Chanel, does that sound right? A Chanel needle? They're very sharp and they've got a gold head. So I purchased these a couple years ago. My sister and I had visions of doing something. We were at the um it's in New York, Wool and Sheep Festival. Ryback? Ryback, does that sound right? Um and we were buying, I don't even remember what we were buying, but the lady said if you can get some Chanel needles, and so we bought some, and I've had 5 or 6 of them. I think this is the only one that I could find this morning. Last night I was just using a regular needle with a bigger eye. Um, I didn't bring out my practice that I was doing last night because the ribbon I was using was kind of wide. So I've got different widths here. Now this is more like a Rogaine kind of ribbon. She says to use soft ribbon, but this is a softer Rogaine and it's small. It's narrow, so I don't know if that'll work, but I'm not going to try that one first. So what I'm going to do is switch hoops. Let's take this hoop off. Oh, and I wanted to show you this. I think I had mentioned my neighbor had given me some of her mother's embroidery stuff, and I had mentioned this. Oh, it's got a word on there, ideal. This embroidery hoop, this is how I got it. This is just a muslin, or maybe it was a bias tape that she wrapped around. I don't know if you can see that. It's not it's not focusing up. Anyhow, I thought this was cool. It kind of just goes. No, Ange, I wasn't in my email. Did you email it to me? I'll have to look. Making 3D flowers on your Cricut. Oh, isn't that cool? Now, I haven't tried using it. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to try not to embarrass myself too much this morning. So, as she tries to get this out of her hoop. No, you didn't send a picture. No, then I didn't see them, honey. I don't know where I would have seen them. How's your eye, Ange? You doing your drops? Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. Now, the gal in the video that I've linked put in my description box, or given you the link. I haven't linked it, I guess. I don't know her name. I don't even know her channel. She's on YouTube. I didn't iron this, but I think it should be okay. Um, Gosh, life shouldn't, this shouldn't be this difficult. I wanted a bigger hoop so it would have a bigger space to mess around on. Now, those of you that slow stitch, I mean, I slow stitch a little bit here and there. I'm not obsessed with it, probably because I am not very good at it. I like to do things that I feel I'm better at, feel better about myself doing. Um, I would think most don't use a hoop, but even if I slow stitch, I kind of like the hoop. I'm old. I don't know. It's more of a comfort zone, I guess, using a hoop. All right, I'm trying to tighten this up. You can see I didn't get my nails done. Okay, good girl. You're keeping up with your drops. Great. And she had cataract surgery, and then she's going to have another one done, I think, what, March 10th, Ange? Um, so we got to be praying for Ange. Okay, so that's nice and taut. So now what she says to do this gown, I'm going to use, the yellow might be a little harder for me to get through, but I think you'll be able to see it better. She says you want to take a length of your ribbon, 12 to 16 inches. I'm assuming that's, manageable. You don't want anything much longer than that. And then you cut it on an angle. And then you take your needle, and the Chanel needles do have a bigger eye. And then she tells you to pierce the ribbon at the end. And you pull that down. You pull it down and it kind of cinches it so it doesn't go anywhere, so it's not always coming out. Then she tells you can knot the bottom. You're putting your drops in by yourself? Good girl. All right, March 10th, right eye done. So she's got to stop playing around with the Cricket Joy, her Christmas present, and she's got to start getting some stuff done. Boy, I can relate to that, Ange. All right, so the lady on the video gives you a lot of different stitches, and it's they're regular embroidery stitches. I don't really know the names of them. I'm not really gonna pretend that I do. I'm just gonna mess around here, see if I can get something that looks half decent. So of course, oh, it's slippery. Of course, the more open weave fabric that you have, the easier time you're going to have pulling your threads through. But it's doable. Like, see, I just wiggled it a little. I just wiggled it a little bit. All right. So I think that the most difficult part is going to be keeping. Hey, Gail. Good morning. Keeping the ribbon the way you want it to go, and keeping it straight and not getting it twisted. Of course, satin ribbon is pretty on both sides. So I'm going to try to do like a little petal. Now, I did not study the stitch names. I'm just doing what I'm doing. This might be called the daisy. I'm not sure. Gail probably will know, or anybody else that stitches. Okay, so I'm going right back down next to where I just pulled that thread up. Now this fabric is a little easier than the fabric I printed on, but not a whole lot. So I'm going to make my loop and then come back up. So it's basically just doing your embroidery stuff. Oh, that time it was easier. Okay, cool. I'm going to pull that a little. Lazy Daisy, thank you, Gail. And then I'm going to go right back down over here. So now she had marks on her. I'll do that in a minute. Oh yeah. Woo-hoo. See, now it twisted on me. This is where a third hand would come in handy. Oh, maybe I'm pulling the wrong thing. Back here. Okay, now this is wide ribbon. Quarter-inch. Hey, Connie, good morning. But if you had a bigger area that you wanted to work on, this might be good. Okay, to like fill in. So I'm going to take my wonderful pen that Gail and Devin told me about. Oh my gosh, I love these pens so much, I can't even tell you. So this is, I think I talk about it every stream. This is the Fixion clicker. And when I put heat on this, the lines will disappear. So she had little marks on her fabric. So I'm putting a little mark there. Now, this probably is going to get me in trouble, but all right, I'll bring it up through the top again, but I'm going to switch to a thinner. She did this one stitch. I'm going to see if I can remember how she did it. Let me put this one over here. I'm not going to worry about using my chenille needle. I'm going to just pick out another needle. I think they're shorter because it's easier to get your thread in the end of that ribbon. I was using a longer needle last night. Oh geez, these are all long. This one, yeah, it's long too. Now, you know what? Let's just undo this one. We're going to just snip this off and then see if I can undo it. Yeah, I ended up buying the chenille needles, and then my sister said, oh, just keep them. I'll get my own. So I have several. I just have to find my other pin cushion. All right, so let's try. I think you'll be able to see this. Not the white. Oh, how about the blue? I'll try the blue. All right, so she recommends 12 inches to 16 inches of ribbon. Gail, do you ribbon embroider? So you put it through the eye of your needle and pierce it through the end of your ribbon and pull it down. I don't know the name of the gal or her channel, Gail. I put her YouTube video I watched in my description box. So I don't know who she is. Now I watched it on my phone. I didn't have closed caption. Now when I put her on this morning on my computer, there was closed caption. So I'm going to go back and look at her again and watch her video again. But this one, I think she just brought her thread up. Now, of course, this is thinner, not her thread, her ribbon. And I think she just then went right back down into the ribbon this way. But this might be difficult to do, to pull it through back. Oh, no, that wasn't too bad. Oh, look, that worked out okay. Look. All right, so now I'm going to come back up through the center. Now, the hard part for me is going to be figuring out what stitch I want to use on my actual project now. So now I'm going to go over here. Jennifer Closton is fantastic and has even wrote great books on. Thanks, Gail. All right, so Jennifer goes like this. Now, see, that got twisted a little. So I could probably, I'll pull that back out and see, I'll just turn it. Oh, thanks. Okay, Gail, thanks. I didn't think about that. I actually didn't know how to find her on the computer this morning, so I went back in and sent myself an email. So I pulled that all the way through, and I didn't want to do that. Hold on. See, I'm busy talking. Right? Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking of somebody different. Okay, gotcha, Gail. All right, thanks, honey. All right, so how did I do that other one? Oh, I just came back in and pierced through the ribbon. Okay. Can you see what I'm doing? Oh my gosh, I think that's cool. Okay, of course it doesn't look, well, it kind of looks, well, no, I don't know what, I like these stitches here, but I wonder what they used here because it's so thin, but it's silky. Thanks, Gail. So there's some more information and hopefully some inspiration for you. Now, I want to try a French knot, but I don't know. It might be hard pulling that thread, the ribbon, right back through itself. You know what I mean? So I'm just flattening out this. Now, this is the problem with the bigger hoop. I'm working towards the middle. And I'm just going right back down. Into the end of that ribbon. Okay, now I'm coming back up through the center again. Now I'm thinking it would be good to have a couple needles going with different color ribbons. So I'm just laying it flat. And then now I could put more petals in. Now I didn't cut this fabric because I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. So, but this has more of a weave than the pillowcase fabric. Now let's just fill in here. Then she did this other stitch where she did lines like this, but I think she went underneath. And then she came back and she went under the loops. And I have to look at that again. Let's make these a little longer. It's not going to be much longer. Yeah, this is definitely easier to pull through than my pillowcase fabric. Hey, Dana, good morning. How you doing? I really thought we were going to get more snow yesterday, but we didn't. We got some rain, some misty rain. I like this little stitch. Okay, let's do one more petal here. Now, I do have some threads, embroidery threads, that are a little nicer than the regular embroidery threads. Of course, I have them in the other room now because I was messing around, but maybe I could use something like that uh, to make stems. Although the gal in the video I watched, she did use ribbon for her stems. Whoops, I pulled it through again. Girls, I didn't catch the end of that. Where's Marty? I didn't catch the end of the ribbon. I'm talking too much. Let's go again. Let's go again. Well, now I have now I've got a little knot in that ribbon. Oh, poo. Just gonna wing it, girls. Just gonna wing it. I pulled it through again. All right, so I'm assuming I didn't see her finish off anything. I'm assuming you just go under. Let's see if this. Well, there's a starting knot. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. I guess you just go under like you would do an embroidery thing. You just knot it. And I'm thinking you don't want to go through and pierce the ribbon. You want to just get under it. I'll probably take this all out again anyway, but for now, we'll just do that. Give it a little snip. Now, I'm going to try. Let's see what else should I pull out. I'm going to try. I want to try a French knot. Maybe I'll try this green because it's thin. Oh, thank you, Gail. All right, so I'm going to get a little length of ribbon. Now, I don't know about everyone else, but I have a ton of satin ribbon in my stash that I'll never use. So that's kind of cool. Right, so I put my ribbon, I keep wanting to call it thread, through the eye of my needle, through the eye of my needle, and then piercing close to the end where I cut it, you just pull that down and then pull your thread, your ribbon, and then I'm knotting the end like I would regular sewing thread. And I'm going to attempt a French knot in the center of this flower. Okay, here we go. Now it's going to be a little fiddly because I have, see, I got in other ribbon. I'll give that a pull back down. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hey, CB. I know, right? I was so surprised when I saw her do it, but it makes sense. Okay, so I'm just going to wind this 1, 2, 3, back down into that original spot. Trying to keep my... Now the trick with this is not getting it in and through the other ribbons behind there. So I had to give that a little tug. But I'm trying to keep the other, if you do a French knot, the best way for me to be successful is to hold that one string taut. Now I do have my pliers here to help me pull it. God, I had to leave go. I don't think it's going to work. No, it came undone. She's come undone. Do, 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 do. Okay, let's try in a different spot. French knots make me cuss. Kimberly, you're cute. Okay, re-knotting. This is why I never have a hot cup of tea, because I heat it up and then I get doing something and I forget to drink it. And then by the time I drink it, it's iced tea. Iced tea, cold tea. Well, Gail, be prepared to be amazed, because here I'm going to go closer to the edge so I can maybe have better control of my... All right, here we go. Through the back. I'm going to wrap it 3 times. 2, 3. Holding that taut, going back down right next to or right into where I am. Lori, don't pull so hard on the top ribbon until you have the needle through the fabric. Okay, yeah, my needle's through the fabric. Thank you, CB. And this fabric is not as open weave as I'd like, but I don't want to break my needle either. Oh, I'm through. See, what I'm doing is I'm not being able to pull the of course the gal in the video makes it look effortless. Yeah, see, look, I lost it again. You know what? I pulled it all the way through. I got my knot down here. Never say never. Never say never. Okay, Gail, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I don't know how. Now it looks like I've got a belly button or something on the... Yeah, I mean, the gal in the video did it. She made it look very easy. All right, let me just do two winds. But of course, she was left-handed. That might have one, two, buckle my shoe. Ow. Yeah, I'm going right next to. But I think what I'm doing is I'm pulling too hard once I get it through the fabric. Oh. See, I'm pulling the whole knot through. I'm not getting. All right, you know what they say, third time's the charm. So I'm actually pulling through the ribbon, but then I'm, manhandling it and really yanking it. So I'm pulling the whole French knot through the fabric. Try again. It's going to be beautiful when I get it done. Okay, one, two, right next to. Hmm, I want to grab my needle. I'm trying to give it a wiggle. No, I'm pulling it right through the fabric to the other side. Hmm. Well, I'll have to watch it again. I'm not going to sit here and keep trying it forever, but um oh, there we go. Wait a minute. I kind of cheated a little bit. That doesn't look too bad. I'm afraid to pull it tighter. Okay. All right, Ange, take care. Try a loose wrap. Oh, that's an idea, CB. Yeah. All right. See now look, my sample here that I found in my stash. I was thinking she had some that she had pulled through, but I guess they're just her starting knots. I was thinking it looked like a French knot. Where does she got one? Yeah. Yeah, because I really want to use a French knot on. All right, let's go again. I'm going to go back over here with my flower. All right, so I'm going to wrap looser. Now, I'm not really pulling on that like I did before. Girls, I did a wiggle. I did it. I did it. I did a wiggle. Now, my project's going to be harder because it's going to be fabric that's not as open weave. Now, this is not super open weave, but you know, and I'm not sure this is going to look right either. I'm just going to try it because I thought it would be fun to give it a go. So that's my practice. So I'm going to need my hoop. So we'll de-hoop, de-hoop, de-hoop. Yeah, this is like the harder part. Maybe I should have pulled out my smaller one. I got two smaller ones in by my comfy chair. Ooh, I don't know if I have a small one here. All right, let's put this aside. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. I printed this on fabric. This is one of my digitals that I purchased recently. So you would just fold it and that would be your page, but I want to use it on the front of a cover. And I want to do some embroidering, and I thought the ribbon would be pretty. Um, all right, let me just see if I have, I think I have everything in the front row. I'm just going to have to go with a bigger hoop. Hoop-de-doop. Bigger hoop-de-doop. I wonder if this old-timey hoop, because it's a little smaller, I wonder if this really will work. This is the hoop I was saying my neighbor gave me that was her mother's. My neighbor is 96. So it doesn't hold it real tight. I know, right, Gail? See, I was thinking little French knots would look cute in there. Of course, I can't do that big, thick. Of course, maybe a couple of light green ones. I only have, I didn't dig in my drawer. There's probably more yellow, but see, I found that's just this one little piece of yellow, thin yellow. And I still have some of this on. So maybe I'll try to do a couple of French knots. All right, if this doesn't work, if this isn't tight enough for me, I'll just go in and get my smaller one. I hate to have you sitting here when I go trancing through the house to get stuff. So I'm going to do the green, couple, hopefully, French knots down here, and then the yellow up top. And then I'm going to switch to some thin white. Now, the gal in the video said, now this is a little stiffer, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. But, some of this silk ribbon, or maybe it has to do with the width. But see, like this yellow, this is like butter. This is so soft. And I have a mauve somewhere that's like really pliable and soft. So the softer your ribbon, the easier it's going to go for you. So I'm going to put a knot here. See if I can do it again. I destroyed my, so let's give it another, oh, these scissors aren't that great. I've got so many projects going. My husband, I was saying before, hates stuff on the kitchen counter. I've got a mock ironing board on the kitchen counter. I'm trying to finish up a couple of journals. And oh my goodness, I got stuff everywhere. I'm taking over the whole house. All right, so I'm rethreading that. I think that's the coolest. Okay. Wrap loosely. Pop it down next to where I was. Trying to grab just the needle and give it a wiggle. Just sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, I hope I don't pull a hole through the whole fabric. Oh, are we going? Oh, look, I've come unlatched. She's come undone. Do, 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 do. I did it. All right, I'm going to have to go get that the little looper. Yeah, look at this gal. She's got some kind of bias tape or something that she wrapped around it. And of course, a thicker fabric would work. And then it just has that kind of a latch. Isn't it cool? Okay, so just give me a minute or two. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get my small hoop. I should have thought ahead and brought it, but good girl. Our puppy lays on the couch and naps. And when I go out um, into the other part of the house, and she hears that slider door, she pops up. She looks like a gopher. Oh, it is, Gil, to put fabric over. I grabbed my sewing scissors. Yeah, you figure my neighbor's 96. So that's from a long time ago. I guess my grandmother had all that kind of. See, this is what I was practicing last night. But of course, I wasn't interested in any of this jazz then, so. I didn't think about it. Probably all that stuff went in the trash. These are the threads I was talking about. These are the ones I got for free. Because I purchased something from a gal. I think I've told you this story before. Might have been on Facebook Marketplace. It could have been eBay. I'm not remembering now, but she had two Lorraines she was shipping to, and she shipped both packages to me. Oh, it was McCary. That's what it was, McCary. Because I got this box. I was expecting embroidery, tatting thread. She had a lot, like 25 or something for, it was more than that. But anyway, so I opened the box and I pulled out like an old horse, old plastic toy horse, and I forget all what was in there. And I'm like, what? I thought, oh no, she shipped the wrong stuff to the wrong person. Well, then the next day I got another package, which was my stuff. And she was, frantic. And I told her, no big deal. I'll just send it back to you. So she sent me a label, but she was so appreciative that she sent me a box of goodies and all those cool threads were in it. I haven't really used them. I know, right? Yeah, lucky me. Just if I wiggle it, I can get it to work. Now this is getting short, but let's see if I can get another one. It's going to be tight. Maybe I won't be able to wrap it as well. Might be able to get two. So what's everybody got on the docket for today and tomorrow? All right, so now, you know what? I'm just going to leave this dangle because I don't really have anywhere to knot it. Now I'm going to try to put some brighter yellow up there. Maybe I should try the white first. Let's do some white. Let's see. I'm not sure what would be the best kind of stitch to try for the petals. So again, if you missed it, I'm going to put this through the eye of my needle and then just pierce through the end. And then you pull that all the way down. And then you pull your thread all the way through the eye. Okay, Scott, are you getting close to the finish? Do you see the end in sight, Kale? I hope you're still enjoying it. Some type of exercise. I hear you. It's just so foreign for me to realize that some people just find exercise enjoyable. Enjoyable. All right, I'm not sure how this is going to look, but I can always cut it off, okay, if I don't like it, right? All right, so because there's blue down in there, like the shadowing. See, and I've got this light blue. So it might be kind of crazy to try it, but I mean, hey, why not, right? Yeah, I don't find it enjoyable either. Well, I have a little bit of a back problem, so anywho, all right. So I want to start at the bottom. I think I might try that easy stitch. So I'm going to start in towards the center here. But I have a friend who, like, she couldn't wait to get to the gym. I mean, she just absolutely loved it. Well, of course, she was a lot younger than me, but you know, it's just her. Just she liked it. She liked to sweat. Ugh, I hate to sweat. All right, so now this is giving me more of a problem. I'm not through the other ribbons. Oh, I don't want to destroy my knots. Where'd my needle go? Oh, geez, my needle fell out. My needle fell out. My needle fell out. Well, I've got a big hole there now. I missed the gym yesterday. That's 45, 45 years in a row. I think I came in too close to my knots. There's Peggy popping in. Time got it, boy. So I call my neighbor every day, right? And I try to get to her around 11:15, something like that. I have so many days where I'm so late calling her. It's not like her or I are doing anything important, but first of all, I get involved with what I'm doing, and she gets like, not frazzled, but she gets like if you say, "Oh, I forgot," oh, nobody thinks about me, nobody cares about and it's not that. It's that I just get so involved with what I'm doing. Okay, Peg, get your coffee. All right, I'm going to give this a little wiggle. Now, see, I'm back to the tighter fabric, so it's a little harder to pull through. This is a piece of an old pillowcase that I printed on. Very soft, but a tighter weave fabric. Now, I know this is crazy, but I'm going to try to do it anyway. I'm going to come up here a little shorter. Yeah, the other day she said, because she always says, I can't think of anything new. I don't have anything new to tell you. Well, no, we talk to each other every day and both of us don't do anything. So there's nothing new to ever report. But, she's by herself. She's got girls that come in, but she's got no other contact, it's okay. But see, she'll say, if I think of something, I'll call you. Well, you hear that from him too. And I said to her the other day, well, if you do call back, just don't call around 3, because that's usually when Ron lays down to take a little bit of a nap. And is a light sleeper and has issues there. And if he feels like he wants to close his eyes, if the phone rings, he's awake and the opportunity to nap and rest is gone. So I did say to her, well, call a little later. If you're going to call again, call a little later. Right. Well, that's the same with her. Yeah. And she can't get into the texting thing. Like she's just really, it's just really not her bag. But that's really how I stay in touch with mostly all my family. I'm not calling them every day. I didn't call my mother every day. Even when my mother was lucid before the dementia. If we called her every day, she'd be like, why are you calling me again? I just talked to you yesterday. But my neighbor's different. But I know that's my daughter, Gail. We hear from our son fairly regular. Um, but he's me. He's more like me. Our daughter is more like her dad. So, um, although my husband likes to talk, but she's got two kids, two young kids, and she's a teacher, and she's busy. And when she's home, she's tired. She's just different. It's just, oh, wait a minute. See, I almost did it wrong. So I'm doing that stitch. I don't know if she called this the ribbon stitch, where she just pierces back into the end of the ribbon. No, I don't like to talk on the phone either. I could text back and forth or message back and forth all day long. As Jacqueline and I do, me and Kellyanne, we do. My sisters and I. Well, see, my neighbor, if I don't answer the phone or my husband doesn't answer the phone, then she rings the other phone. She rings every phone we have till she till she gets a hold of us for like something like, not an emergency. Like if it's an emergency, and you hate to say to her, look, if it's an emergency, okay, but if it's not, just leave a message or call back later. Okay, so now here, see, I've got this petal coming out this way, and it's darker down in there. So I'm thinking I'm going to put my light blue there and my light blue there and see how it looks. So I'm going to come up here. It's kind of on an angle. Her son went on vacation once out to the West Coast, and I think she did text him. Well, he was livid and she couldn't, she had a hard time understanding. Well, it was the middle of the night. She didn't think about the time. So, and it was just something silly, it wasn't an emergency. Okay, so now it looks like here, see, I twisted and I've got a knot, I think. Oh, there, I got it. Okay. Well, maybe I didn't. Oh, well, it's a little better. No, I definitely got a knot there. Oh, phooey. Wonder if I can. See, then I pulled it through the other side. Yeah, well, she's got Yeah. She's got the wristwatch thing, and she's got a cell phone and a landline, and she never uses the landline, but she has to have it because she's nervous. You, you know, that she's not going to be able to get a hold of somebody. And then the last time she fell, she didn't really fall. She slid out of her chair. She wasn't hurt. She just couldn't get up. And we can't lift her. She's, it's solid weight. Okay. Um, and then the ambulance people, then the what do you call it? The life alert people. They're calling me about my neighbor. Well, can you go help her? I'm like, no, I can't go help her. We can't lift her. That's why she's wearing the watch. Like, okay, I got to put my other glasses on. It's not that we don't want to help her. It's just that we can't lift her when she's on the floor. We can't get her up. She had a little comforter blanket on her chair, and when she's got one of those lift chairs, and then when she gosh, I'm so mad I did this. When she sat down, it acted like a slide. And she ended on her tush, which was fine. She didn't really hurt herself, but she couldn't get up. So, I mean, I was a little annoyed. I'm like, no, you need to send somebody to help her. And then they hung up on me. I think I have a thread maybe around this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. Oh, shoot. And those EMT people come in. I mean, they're great. They just get her under the armpits and boop, she's up in like a half a second. But I was a little annoyed, like, don't waste time calling me. And I think they called her son. He's in freaking Delaware. Okay, I want that flat. I want that ribbon. I don't think it was a knot, but I got something going on there. It's not laying right. It's like I caught the edges of the ribbon and the threads twisted around the ribbon, and I don't want that in the middle of my petal. Uh, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull it back through, knot it off, and start all over again. No, same with me. My husband and I can't get her up. We just can't. We've tried. All right. All right. So now I've got to pierce the end of my ribbon so it doesn't go anywhere. Reknot. I mean, she leaves her door unlocked all the time, but she really doesn't have a choice because if anybody wants to come in even to see her or ask her a question, she can't get to the door. All right, so now I've got a gigantic hole there. Woohoo! Oh, why are they so thick-headed, Gail? I don't know. We have a friend that lives in this development who has had some issues lately, and she's become really feeble. And she refuses, like she can walk, but she like has to scuff her feet, and she looks like she's going to topple over at any moment. She will not use a cane or a walker outside of her home. I mean, oh, I did it again. My gosh, I'm so busy talking. I don't want that. And I started at the other end. All right, I'm coming back through. Yeah. Now I've got Harry Mary down there. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so I just want to put my ribbon and put my needle through the end of the ribbon. When I'm finished with this white, if I ever finish, I'm going to put that blue on and see how that looks. I might end up taking the whole thing out, but wiggle while you work. Do 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 do. And then for my neighbor, I keep asking her, but they told her she's not covered for it, which is crazy to me. To ask about an occupational therapist because she's scared to death to fall, so she won't go into her kitchen anymore. So she can't even make herself a cup of coffee or get her cereal. Nothing. She can do nothing because she's afraid, mostly because she's afraid. But if they could teach her how to do some of those tasks where she wouldn't be afraid, build up her confidence, I think it would be better for her. But they say she's not covered. And she's living on such a little bit of money, she can't afford to do it, herself. And she listens to those people like she wouldn't listen to me. Right, daily activities, right. And it's really most of it is because she's afraid. She could sit on her walker and just figure out different ways to do. I did. Darned if I didn't do it again. Um, fear is a terrible thing. Especially like days when we have the snow and her little worker girls that come, they have children, they're home from school and then they can't come. So it messes up her day. That's our son, Peggy. That's our son, even especially on the phone. We're like, I'm hanging up now. I've got to go. Even if I say I have to get into the bathroom, he just keeps talking. He's always been like that, this kid. All right, so this looks a little weird. That's what I like about Doc Martin when you watch his show. Some of his patients do that, and then he finally just says, "Stop talking." It won't take that long, Mom. Just one more thing. I'm like, I'm hanging up now. All right, I did it right this time. Well, her doctor retired. That's a whole nother thing. Now she's got um the doctor that took his place. He's thinking about doing house calls, but that's a good idea. So she just had a nurse come out and do all her vitals and all that jazz. I didn't even think about that. She could have asked. Well, I don't think she knew she was coming. It was just like, oh, guess who was here today? All right. So I don't know. I guess that doesn't look too terribly bad. Let's go back down in here. I'll give this a wiggle. Yeah, she's got a foot doctor who does house calls, which is incredible to me. Jacqueline, really? So she can't. Okay, so I'm flattening out my ribbon, finding my petal, going in the end. Yeah, yeah. So the foot doctor comes and does her toenails, so that's great. And her doctor that retired, he said he would come out and see her. So he did. He came out and saw her a couple of times, and then he retired. Um, and the doctor that took his place told someone else she knows that went there that he's thinking about doing house calls. But then his nurse came out because even like the dentist, she needs to go to the dentist, but we don't want to transport her anymore because we don't want her to fall. We don't want to be responsible. And she can have someone come and take her, people that are trained to do that, but she wants a friend to take her. Well, I just wish Ron would take me. Well, he's not going to do it anymore. He's got his own issues. He can't be trying to maneuver an old gal who doesn't move well. Getting her in and out of the car is a nightmare. But what are you going to do? We're all she has, really. So yeah, that's what I said to her. He's not going to do that anymore. So I told her the next time her son comes to visit to just have him make arrangements and take her. Let him do it. But now they've had a falling out, so that's a whole nother. I don't know if this is looking a little junky. What do you think? I'm going to do one more petal here. And then I'm going to do some of the blue, and then I want to try some of that light yellow. Not light yellow, the bright yellow. Oh, Gail, I could tell you things that make your hair curl. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's hard not to say it. I don't want to say it online. It's just horrible. Horrible. He's just not a good person, as Jacqueline would say. He's just not a good person. I did the wrong stitch again. I'm going to leave it. This is a digital that I printed myself, Peggy. It's one of my digitals. I'm coming back through here and going back down the end, try to make it look like. Yeah, I ironed a piece of fabric on freezer paper and then put it through my printer. All right, I'm going to knot this off. This was an old piece of pillowcase. I picked it because it was thin. So yeah. And then I had purchased this, but I think you could probably use what you have in your kitchen too if you just flatten it out, ironed your fabric on and cut it to 8.5 by 11 or a size that your printer would take. Quilters freezer paper sheets. This is certainly easier and more convenient, but if you don't have that, I would try the roll, and then you just iron your fabric on, and then I just put it in. Now I was clever for a change and put it in upside down because that's how my printer works, and then I peeled it off. The earlier in the stream, I peeled it off the freezer paper, and yeah. Okay, okay, so let's get this off. Yeah, I'm sure it is more expensive, but yeah, like the lady that said, well, that's true too, Peggy. That's what she has tried to tell him, but oh well, whatever. He's not a nice person. I hate to say that, but he's really not. He's not a nice person. And he thinks she's only cares about herself. She's confined to her chair. She has no life. You know, TV and word search puzzles. All right, so here we go. I'm going to thread this through. Okay, I was doing, but there we go. Go right into the end. I think the closer is to the end is the best. Pull that down and pull your thread, not the end. I'm hoping this will look like a little bit of a shadow. I mean, it might even work on, although I don't know if you could get that apart afterwards. If you use like interfacing, would be stiff enough to put it in your printer. Now I have another thing that I printed on a when I first got that packages of stuff. It was I have a collection of the old 1800 magazine type things like the Priscilla or the Youth's Companion. There's a bunch of different ones, right? Macintosh, where they're copyright exempt, copyright free because they're so old. And I printed an old fashioned girl on one. Turned out really great. I have it here somewhere. I didn't stitch on it, but all right. So I've got a little bit of a shadow here. So I'm going to come up under here, hoping that now this blue may not be dark enough to really do it, but yeah, I'm hoping he gets a rude awakening one day. His I think his wife has influenced him greatly on the matter, and she had no relationship with her mother. So, and then he keeps bringing up stuff to his mom, and I say, if he's still having a problem with some of that stuff, he needs therapy. Tell him to go get therapy. Take it out on his mother, for goodness sakes. All right, so I'm going to do, I think, the same stitch if I remember. Maybe I'll overlap it a little. Maybe I should just go down that hole. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just go down the hole. Yeah, maybe best that they're apart, but then the truth of the matter is then, like, we can't just not help her. Like, there's nobody to care for. Yeah, I'm down a rabbit hole for sure. I don't know. I don't know if this is, I mean, I don't think this looks bad, but she had two boys. This is her youngest. Her oldest boy died in an explosion about 7 or 8 years ago on Valentine's Day. So, okay, okay, CP. Have a good day. All right, so I'm going to go sneak down in here. Yeah, that's what I was saying with the relationship from years ago. Then go get therapy. I mean, for goodness sake, she's 96. He moved 2.5 hours away to boot. Wanted her to come here, so I mean, she had a pretty good core of people that helped her in Pennsylvania, but he talked her into moving, and then he left her here, 2.5 hours away. But whatever. Life is hard for sure. She needs to be in a facility, is where she needs to be. And she says she'll think about it when the time comes. So I think the time is here. Now, if I had really thin, like the 1/8 inch ribbon, oh, maybe this is an eighth. I don't know what this is. I have a hard time with this. Yeah, this is an eighth, maybe the 16th. Might be a little harder, but it might be better for doing like trying to create shadow. Can your dad still do all his hygiene stuff, Gail? See, that's what we couldn't handle that with our mom. That's good. That's good. So now I've got this really twisted. I want to straighten that out. Doesn't look too terribly bad, huh? I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to knot this. I'm going to leave that dangling so I can come back and do those shadows. I want to try again with this little bit of yellow that I have to put some yellow French knots in the top of this daisy. This little lazy daisy. My mom had always said she didn't want to live with any of us when she was in her right mind. And we loved our mother dearly. But when she was first, when all this dementia stuff happened and she was first assessed in the hospital, um, the doc there asked us, if we could, what were our plans? Could we take her into our home? And I said, we would love to be able to do that, but I'm 70. My sisters are in their late 60s. We got our own health things and we just physically couldn't do it. And with the dementia, like with Betty, she can entertain herself. She needs people to get her meals and stuff. And she talks a lot. But with my mom, it was just constant repetitiveness and wanting everything every couple of minutes and her being frustrated. And then the combativeness, like not wanting to shower and fighting you every tooth and nail of what she had to do and not knowing why she had to do it. And it was just it was a hard decision, but you lose your life. You lose your life. It's full time. And then there's the worry, because mom didn't listen, wouldn't stay put, wouldn't do what she was told. And so then there was all of that. It's just, it was horrible. It was a horrible time. It was horrible. Now, these are going to probably be different sizes. See, now I keep stabbing through the knot I have underneath. Yeah, well, there's another gal I know through art. I won't say her name because I don't have her permission to say it. But same thing, but it was her dad. And he lived in a different state. And she would go for a week. They all took a week. And I think there were maybe three of them. So it's like every 3 weeks you're away from your home for a week. I mean, and at that point, with our situation, I mean, it looked like mom was going to outlive all of us. There's that too. It's like how long we might have made a different decision if we knew mom was, it's horrible to say this, if we knew mom was only going to be with us for a year. You know what I mean? It's horrible to say that, but, maybe for a year you could do it, but we didn't have anybody could tell us really where she was in that process and how long it might be. Okay, I did another one. Now that one's gigantic, but that might be okay. So, okay, I'm going to ask your honest opinion. I'm going to get my cover that I'm thinking this is going to go on and see. Now, this is going to be a gift for someone. If you would pull it all out and just do regular embroidery, or forget the forget the whole thing, or do you think it looks okay? Okay, let me see if I have that. Man, I keep going through the other ribbon. You think it looks okay? You think it looks great? Okay. Yeah, all right. Hold on a minute. Let me get this. I'm trying to wiggle this through to do this last. Not last, but one of the French knots. I'll take it out of the hoop too. All right, you don't need to see me struggle. There we go. That's the ticket. I think that's what CB was trying to tell me. Wiggle and get the needle through. Oh, that's a better one. That's a better one. Yeah, the French knot with the ribbon is not easy, I got to tell you. Now, only a portion of this is going to go on my cover if I stay with my current idea. I don't think it looks too bad. And then if I do, the stem, what do I have here? Mm. Oh, there, I have a nice green. It's a blue green, but, or maybe just regular embroidery thread. Yeah, I wanted something, you know what, the thinner embroidery takes so long, and I'm very impatient. And I thought the ribbon would go quicker, and I might be able to, have the same kind of look, get more bang for my buck, I guess. Now, the idea is like this kind of a cover where I'm going to have different pieces of stuff on the cover. Now, this happens to be the back, but you get the idea. So this, I think, is going to be my cover. She likes black, but it's going to have daisy pages and stuff inside and flowers. So I was thinking I could have a little piece of this. if it's embroidered to kind of be my focal. You know, this would be all folded and trimmed, kind of like that somehow, you know, with lace and different things, you know, other things on it. I think I'll at least finish this flower and see. Yes. Although I can color, I'm not too impatient to color. But like I said earlier, you may not have been here yet, Gail. I'm not very good at it, as you can see. It's more of a struggle for me um, to do embroidery. So I don't think I want the whole thing on there. Um, but yeah, it does take practice. Yeah, that's true, Peggy. That's true. That might have looked cool. And then just maybe did the stems and then send in the leaves. I pulled out this ribbon. Where'd it go? Here. Now this isn't you know, silk. But I think it would work, you know, if I can get it undone. Heavens to Murgatroyd. It's that darn Ebony Bloom gal's fault. I said to Jacqueline earlier, ugh, I just don't like her. She's dry. She's in my brain. I can't get rid of her ideas. Well, this isn't coming off. Now, of course, this is a lot wider, but this might make a cool petal. It's pretty bendy. I don't know what this is, but it's cool. And I just need to get some of these things out of my brain. Yeah, what kind of stitch would you recommend for the stems? Yeah, that's true too, Peggy. That's a very valid point. This is really pretty ribbon. But my sample, my inspiration piece, it probably wasn't too easy pulling this through either. Like, what kind of stitch is that? It's kind of, the thread looks kind of shimmery. Back stitch. Oh, I like the back stitch. Yeah, I like the back stitch. Yeah, yeah, maybe metallic. It's got, see how you can see the difference. Looks cool though, right? And I don't know, it doesn't look like there was a pattern on here. It looks like this was just free-handed. Wonder what it was. Wonder what it was. Wonder where I got it. Wonder wonder what it was part of. Yeah, I don't know. Could be. Could be metallic. So I have this cool stuff. What is this? This is it says needle. Oh, this is a little ribbon, this one. Look at there. That says little ribbon. This might look cool as a stem, because it has the blue in it. This is twisted French metallic for cross stitch. Made in France. She sent me some good stuff. I think that green's the only ribbon. I guess I could mix ribbon and, oh look, this is 100% wool. 1 ply. Well, the 1/8 is what I was using for, yeah, this and my blue. My blue is 1/8. And this yellow, I think, is 1/8. Well, maybe not. Yeah, this lighter yellow, oh, the greenish yellow that I used down the bottom for these bottom French knots. That's 1/8. And this light blue is 3 millimeter. Is that an 1/8? Yeah, 3 millimeter is an 1/8. I know these gals are a wealth of knowledge. But my pink journal that I'm working on. Okay, Gail, enjoy your day as well. Thanks for coming in. Oh, tomorrow will be have been my mother's 94th birthday. Oh, and I have something for my grands, but I didn't get over there, so we'll have to see. Maybe I'll take a ride tomorrow. You have a nice Valentine's Day too. All right, I guess I'm going to wrap it up for today. Get on with the things I have to get accomplished, which really aren't much except call my neighbor, get some lunch. And what is tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, I don't know. Gosh, we're halfway through February, huh? Yeah, good to see you, Peggy. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I'll have to check on Kel. Maybe she's sleeping in. I don't know. We'll check on her. Call me. Don't be afraid. You can call me. All right. Thanks so much for putting up with my nonsense today, but I think overall this is a good idea. And I think it might look sweet on a cover. We'll just see. But, printing on fabric, that alone is, I think, a pretty cool idea. Right? Okay. So thanks for coming in. If you're watching the replay, if you like, sub, and share, I would appreciate that. And if you feel like you can give me a thumbs up, I appreciate that as well. So until next time, which should be Sunday morning, well, Sunday at noon here. If you can join me, I would appreciate it. Love to see you. And in the meantime, don't forget to take time to be creative. Enjoy the journey. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.